All right, welcome to another episode of Two Dumb Dogs. Sorry that we're hitting this late. We had some stuff come up and we missed the last two Mondays, but we are back on track. We got Greg in the house. I'm your host, Tori Yates. What do we got on the agenda today? So some crazy. I don't know if it's crazy, but the TikTok just got banned and then unbanned in like 5 days. So it was like literally only banned for like over the weekend, I think. Um, we got some probably gonna get into some kids drama. We both got a little bit of that going on, and I just got out of a -30 fucking weekend of blizzard shit. It was fucking cold and painful and ouch. But yeah, what you got going on for you, Greg? What happened with you the last 2 weeks?
Work, the
Work?
children, the dogs,
Hmm.
life, life. Nothing spectacular or it wasn't like it was uneventful or anything. It's just the kids got sick, then they weren't sick, then the adults got sick, and then they were fine.
What were you guys sick with?
Well, it started with the 2-year-old, then it turned into the bubonic plague, then everybody died, and then everybody came back from death.
Oh, you're so dramatic. No,
Yeah, I know.
well, we had a little bit of sickness going around here too. After I had that 1 week that Paisley and I had the stomach flu, and then Paige had a sinus infection, so she was stopped up for about a week. But then now fucking Sammy thinks that she's got a head cold or something, or she's off her behavioral meds, so it might be a little bit of that. But I don't know. Um, yeah. Luckily, I haven't come down with anything except for I've been getting the occasional nosebleed that I've been waking up to because the air is so fucking dry. It's like that's a weird feeling. Like, have you had a nosebleed?
No, not
Uh,
recently.
no, I mean, like, have you like? Because for me, I didn't get my nose never bled until I moved up here, and that was like. And still, it was like 7 years ago that it happened, and it only happened once. And now I'm this winter. It seems to be happening like every other week. But just I thought it's because of the air, because we got central heating and air in this place, so it's a little different. And I usually we have the radiant heater, so it's not drying out the air, but the hot air is dry. So
So, so you are having random nosebleeds, and the weather is the reason why they're happening.
well, it's not so much random because it's always happening at night, whether it's right whenever I decide to go to bed or it's right when I wake up, or I wake up because I notice that my nose is bleeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Dakota weather makes you nosebleed. That's
Well,
interesting.
I was already a little skeptical about it whenever because I had heard that Floridians usually have that problem whenever they leave Florida because we're so used to the 80% humidity constantly that as soon as we leave, if we go to Texas or Arizona, we dry out like fucking sponges. And we're just not used to the dry air everywhere else. But like for me, usually it was just the sneezing, but then like yeah, the winter airs, the air gets brutal up here.
Okay, so I wasn't sick at all.
Oh, lucky.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't sick at all the first 2 years that I was living in Germany. But after that, started just every time the flu took me out, or like it's gonna sound so stupid, but I remember in the summertime I went and got myself a little fan, and all the Germans were like, "You're gonna get sick using that." I'm like, "Go fuck yourself!" And then I did, and I was like, "What is happening? Why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me?"
I don't know. I guess we get comfortable and then shit affects us more. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah, the nosebleeds are very inconvenient. I mean, luckily these last few haven't lasted that long, but and I haven't been dealing with the pain of like when your nose is so dry that if you go to touch it, it feels like dry glue cracking, like you can feel your skin cracking because it's so frozen.
That always happens on my lips here on the side.
Yeah. But no, so some stuff with me that happened, like I signed up for the day labor service again and took one job this weekend when it was -20 out and it was brutal. I'm not gonna do that shit again. It's like I don't know what it is, man. Like I've been sitting in luxury for these last 5 years being self-employed or whatnot, but it's like the job was $18 an hour and it was only four and
Okay.
a half hours. We just unloaded one trailer of cabinets and there was like 10 of us. So it wasn't hard work by no means. Um, but it was just cold and then at the end of the day I only walked away with like $70. I'm like, ouch. I'm like it's $70 that I didn't have, but
No, you've come at a point where you can make double that in half the time.
and less
And
work. Like I've
yeah,
gotten lazy to that point. Like I'll admit that it is a little bit of laziness. It's just like I'm sitting here doing the voice acting stuff, and like I finally paid for the membership on that. So, like last night and this morning, I've been just auditioning for job after job, like doing like five in an hour or something like that, and like hopefully that takes off. Like I don't know, I got real scared after I paid for the membership because it felt like exactly what I was worried about, that like it was gonna treat me like a dating website. Like it tricks you saying that, oh, there's all these job potential jobs that would fit you. You just gotta pay for the membership to access them. But then I pay for the membership and I access them, and then it goes from like 500 jobs down to like 100 jobs, and now it's down to like 50 jobs. And then not all some of the jobs require British accents. Some of them require Scottish. Some of them want Spanish. Some of them want Castilian Spanish. Some of them want Australian or an African American and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, well then that goes
okay.
down. And then it's just like, so now I've now the curtain's been pulled up and now I can see like, yeah, there's 1,000 jobs, but there's like 30 categories.
Yeah. And you don't exactly fit every one of those categories, so you got to
No,
finesse
and
it.
like you gotta target what you're after. Like, so there's audiobook readings, which are like very long, like the marathon runners, where like
Okay.
I wouldn't I wouldn't want to do that because that's like 30,000 words. It's like hours of recording. And it's like, yeah, like the final product might only be 2 hours long, but the time in between cutting and editing and re-recording and all that, it took me like 10 hours, like what happened with my first job. Like it was only 3,000 words, but it's still collectively like I timed myself and it took me like 12 hours to complete 2 hours or 3 hours worth of recording. So I essentially, so with that, like I'm like, okay, if it's 30 seconds, I can relatively probably do it in under 10 or 15 minutes. Like if it's a difficult job, but I don't know. I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep at it just like the podcast. Like I feel like if I just make it a routine and a job, like I eventually will get better a little bit. I like the, but just like with my cleaning job, like I'm not aiming for the top 10 positions or whatnot. I'm just aiming to make a living off of it,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like even at this rate, like I mean, if I book 5 jobs a month, that's still an income. That's like $2,000 a month. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Meanwhile, uh, things are going swimmingly with the pregnancy. Everything's going all right, I guess. No complications. Sammy found a weird bump on her boob, thought it was something serious, and then I guess she called in and they said it was nothing. So, but other than
They're
that, yeah, I'm like,
like, you're fine.
Well, she
This
thought it
won't
might.
kill you.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, and then I've been doing the Pokemon cards. I got like 79% completion on the Stellar Crown collection or expansion. So that's been fun. That's been fueling my gambling itch, I guess. But yeah. So what's been stressing you out? What happened with David?
Oh, the
Oh.
same old, same old. He disrespected his mother. He
Oh.
didn't do well in school. He hid homework, dumb shit.
Mm.
And he took it too far. Yeah,
Oh,
kids,
he took.
man.
So what? He got confronted and he
No,
chose
man, we
to.
get emails. He's a dummy, man. The teachers email us. He denies stupid shit that
Yeah.
he doesn't even deny. And then he's like, "How do you know?" All shocked. How do you know?
I know, right? Fucking Paisley does the same shit. I mean, probably she's not as sneaky about it, but it's like it's so I don't know if I'm just used to it because like living with an older brother, like I don't know. I was always aware when shit was moved. Like I was the one that was sneaking in and getting the Christmas presents and unwrapping them and then wrapping them back up and then nobody knew better. So like I was good at sneaking around, or at least I think I was. I don't know. Nobody caught me that much, so I figured it makes me good. But Paisley, yeah, she does some stupid shit. Like, what was the last time? Fucking, what was it? Oh, there's so many. I try to forget about them as soon as they happen because they're ridiculous. Fuck. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Moving on. Come on, give me something. You got me talking over here by myself.
Keep going, man. Keep going. Don't stop now. You're doing great.
Ah, you suck. You suck ass.
I'm sorry. I'm happy. I'm very happy, Rodney.
Why are
And
you
it's
waving a knife around?
it's weird because I'm playing with it. I'm playing with it. I'm doing this with my fingers because I can't find my. What the fuck? Oh my god. Hey, pause real quick.
All right, sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of a scene to remedy. Apparently, the ex needed some gas.
Well, as always, somebody is pushing me away from my duties and stuff, and here I am again. Sorry about that. That took longer than I was hoping it would.
Nah, you're all right. I still got an hour until Paisley's home, and we're planning on going swimming again today. That's why we couldn't record yesterday. Yeah, Paisley's been asking a couple times this winter to go swimming, and we said no because we were under the assumption that the pool was closed on the weekends, but apparently it's not. It's open for like 4 hours on Saturday and Sunday, so that's cool. So yeah, we're gonna go swimming after she gets her chores done, if she
You
gets her chores done.
mentioned something in the beginning of this episode, and I'm aware of it,
What's that?
but I'm not completely aware of it. You said that TikTok was banned, which the whole world knew,
Yeah,
and then
because everybody
it
knows.
wasn't banned all of a sudden.
So
What do you know about this situation?
so right now I got an article pulled up from the BBC its website, and it says, "What does Trump's executive order mean for TikTok, and who might buy it?" U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order granting TikTok a 75-day extension to comply with the law banning the app if it is not sold. So, from that, yeah, Trump is the question behind TikTok is it's a Chinese company, and we are worried that the Chinese government will pressure the company to sell its users' data to the government, which that's the bad part of it. So Trump is wanting U.S. company to buy 50% of it at least, so that it's protected. Um, the social media platform briefly went dark in the U.S. days before Trump took office, and after the Supreme Court denied a bid by its Chinese owner to overturn the legislation, TikTok came back online with a short message thanking Trump for his efforts. Trump has overturned the TikTok ban. Um, an executive order is an instruction from the president, which is has the weight of the law behind it. Yes, we know that. But Trump's order does not overturn the ban. Instead, it tells the U.S. Attorney General not to enforce the law for now, something experts had expected this would be his first move. So it is a law, but we're ignoring it for right now. That's
Okay, so
basically what it says. The
here's
ban
my
started
first
on the
question.
17th, and now it's back on. It was back on yesterday. So it was effectively like, from my understanding, it was only effectively like you couldn't access anything for like 3 or 4 days.
Okay, here's the first question I have about this.
Okay.
Why does he keep saying Chinese?
Because
TikTok is not a Chinese app. The CEO and the creator of TikTok is from Singapore. That is a different country, that is different languages, that is different culture. Yeah, they have a Chinese minority, but America has a Chinese minority. It's called New York City.
And yeah, I remember those things. I remember those interview or the clips where he was being constantly asked every which way if he had
It
any
was very
affiliation with
racist.
Chinese.
It was a
Yeah,
very openly weird form of racism that the US expressed outward. It was also a very stupid conversation. The guy kept saying it too. I'm like, yo, I'm from Singapore. It's like, what? What are you? What? Uh.
I don't know,
And then
man.
the second thing, and I have to admit that
But it's
I
saying that
would,
it has that. So at the end of this article, it said the ban was designed to prevent China, a designated foreign adversary, from leveraging its control over ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, to
okay,
capture the personal data of US TikTok users. So yeah, it is a conspiracy thing, but it's like we do, I mean, as racist as it sounds, there on a government level, yeah, we do have reason to worry because like
okay,
the influence TikTok has on our on everybody.
sure. However, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. I was on YouTube Shorts, okay? And mixed in with YouTube Shorts is shit that is actually TikTok, okay? Because YouTube Shorts is just like TikTok, except you can't really like interact the same way because the shit's 3 or 4 or 5 months old. At least that's what my sister keeps telling me about YouTube Shorts, that I am behind by like a couple months on everything that's on TikTok.
Hmm.
Having said that, on YouTube Shorts, they were talking about how TikTok's being banned, and there's this other app called Red Note. And out of morbid curiosity, I downloaded Red Note because I want to know what all the fuss is about. Have you been on Red Note?
No.
Okay, so that really is a Chinese app. Okay, that really is a Chinese company. And uh, everybody that was on TikTok now is on Red Note. Like
Hmm.
all the famous people you know from TikTok or whatever, TikTok famous, all of them have Red Note accounts now on the actual China. And the explosion of views on this Red Note is what should be on TikTok, but it's now on this app.
Hmm.
They're even welcoming people from TikTok in the form of like, "Hi, welcome, TikTok refugees. Let me teach you Chinese," and it's fucking amazing, man. It's so cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love how
Holy
like
shit!
really the only difference between the apps is which way you have to scroll.
Yeah,
Like with Snapchat, you have to tap it, and then TikTok you scroll up, YouTube you scroll up, Facebook like I was sliding to the left for some reason. But so I'm doing
listen,
a bit of
but
googling
but
right here,
but,
and
but Rodney, hold up.
as far as they're saying, TikTok is a Chinese company though. It's ByteDance. The owner of TikTok is a Chinese internet technology company, headquarters in Hainan, Beijing, and incorporated in the Cayman Islands.
I thought it was in Colorado now. Or is that something else that I don't understand? In any case, I'm not in the room with all these lizard people and the four Jews that are controlling the world and the dragon people and stuff like that. I'm not in the room with those people. But if it really was their intention to keep uh, a different government out of American data, it backfired horribly.
What are you talking about?
If it really was the intent to when they made TikTok ban illegal, whatever, if it really was their intention to keep a foreign government away from American data, that plan has backfired horribly
Okay.
because now these other actual Chinese, openly Chinese apps are getting 100 million Americans on their app in the span of a week. It's broken their algorithm. We're seeing our own shit on their label while they're showing their shit at the same time.
What
Red Note is a really cool app.
what
It
proof do you
really
have
is.
of that?
I've already showed you.
You didn't show me shit.
I thought I sent you. Oh shit! How do I show you? I thought I sent you screenshots of what it looks like. It's TikTok with a bunch of Chinese on it. And the shit's really cool.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I think the whole shit's bad for everybody.
I think you should download the app. Okay.
No, because
Some
like
people
I was
are.
questionable. So like when TikTok started, like I don't know. Apparently everybody looks at me like I was crazy, but at one point, whenever I re-downloaded TikTok, I needed to. They wanted a picture of my ID to verify my age for some reason.
Yeah, because the kids aren't allowed on the app.
Yeah, and then I'm like, at that point, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you my fucking driver's license information
Yeah,
for
but that's how they
fucking
make sure
TikTok.
that a 14-year-old can't
I
open an
understand
account.
that. I understand that. And at the same point, I'm like, I don't need to be scrolling through fucking a bunch of shit that's potentially like bad. Like I don't like I'm not the one that likes to fucking see like gruesome fucking animal attacks and like feeding into that algorithm and shit. Like
You
seeing
don't like animal attacks?
huh?
You don't like animal attacks?
No, bro. Like that's
Dude,
not
I saw an
healthy.
ox defeat a lion. It was glorious.
And I understand that, bro, and that's amazing to see every once in a while. But you gotta add the numbers up and see and visualize your exposure whenever you're actually on those apps. So like think of it as the language learning, as like learning a second language. You know, they say like 5 minutes a day is better than 2 hours a week. You know, um, because of the influence on you and the daily and the repetition and everything. So it's like every time I jump on there, like if I'm on the toilet, that's one thing, you know. But if I'm sitting there, like the moment that I'm like not engaged in something, I'm pulling up my phone to just scroll videos, and then I'm just waiting for life to come ring my bell and like, okay, you need to put the phone down and come live. That's like time that gets sucked away. Like it was the problem that it was the scare that we had when with kids and TV, you know, like they used to tell us if you sit too close to the TV, your eyes will fucking burn and stuff like that. You'll burn your retinas out or you'll
You
melt.
gotta give it to Gen X and the boomers. I hate saying it like this, but they were right. The screens are gonna fuck us up. And now we have more than once. We have multiple screens.
Dude, I got a
There's kids
screen on my
that
fucking vape. You see this
we
shit?
live. The digital world is a screen like
I
world.
got a vape. I got a screen on my disposable fucking vape. It's like so in that sense, yeah, I'm fully against it. Like that's the problem that I'm having with the kids right now. It's like, dude, it look like when you look at it from an outside perspective and ignore that TV is normal, the way that these kids react to it is like moths to a fucking flame, bro.
Yeah.
But it's to the point like you and I like if you walk into a room and somebody's on their phone, you don't literally tackle them to sit next to them to and put your face in front of them to see what's fucking on the screen, right?
In fact, it's social courtesy to never look at somebody else's screen. Otherwise, you're about to get an ass whooping.
Yeah, but these kids don't have that at all. They're fucking like they just had a friend stay the night this weekend, and her mother lets her have a phone. She's 12 years old. And like after dinner they were in the bedroom and she was talking to her cousin on the phone for like hours while she was hanging out with Paisley and the girl and Paige. And I'm like, I didn't really have a problem with it. She was on speakerphone, so it's not like she was sitting there not engaging with everybody. Like they were just hanging out, you know how kids do, where they're not talking about anything, they're just on the phone, just so that they're connected in something.
What
Like
are
I get
you
that sense.
doing? What are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, shit like that, and I'm fine with that. But then she's on TikTok, and I'm like, I don't want my girls looking at TikTok. Like, it's fine if you're allowed to have your phone, but this is my house. This is my rules. We don't watch TikTok in this house. Like, YouTube is already on thin ice just because of we don't have control over it. You know, it's fine whenever they're watching the good videos in front of us, but it's like for me, it's what you fill your time with. Like the time that you're spending on watching these videos, you could be learning a second language. You could be reading a book. You could be expanding your knowledge. But no, you're just mindlessly watching videos that you will forget about after you're done laughing. You'll send them to a couple of friends and like they won't fucking respond because everybody just opens it, laughs, and then moves on with their day. And then you got a bunch of these kids that think that this is the legitimate way to make money and everything, and it's a
But they are making, some of them are.
they
That's
are
why.
making a money, but at the end of the day, like I'm sounding like an old man, but it's like when it's riding that roller coaster, and then when the momentum is done, you're done, and you've wasted all this time of your life building on a career that it's relatable to like OnlyFans and shit, like prostitution or stripping. Like, yeah, it sounds like a good idea because you're making a boatload of money while you're young, but you're wasting your youth because that's all your energy went towards was doing that. And now that that's gone, you can't make money the way that you know how to.
Well, when an athlete retires from the game because the game forces him out via maybe injury or
Hmm.
old age, he sometimes becomes a coach. What if
Yeah.
that's what happens in 15 years where we have these app coaches that used to be
We
TikTok
already have
famous and
them.
then
We already have the influencers masterclass and shit like that. Like, yeah, we've already had that, bro. Like, that's what YouTube is for. You know,
oh, I
like
love this,
you
man.
can learn how to be an influencer. Like it's down to a fucking math and a little science right now. But that's what I'm worried about. Like, okay, so like I credit content creators. That is a job. That is a career. You can shape and mold what that looks like throughout the years when you tack on age. Like maybe you could start out as a reviewer and then you talk to an interviewer and then you got your own career and everything, and that's how that works. But like I'm talking about these kids like the Island Boys. Like you see how they're fucking going off. They're becoming old news, and now they're just getting crazier and crazier until one of them dies. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
But but
Can't
I don't
find
know,
my
bro.
vape. Give me a second. I can't find my vape.
Like I don't know. I just come back to like what my grandparents taught us like it sounds religious, but it's like you are what you consume. If you're consuming smut and violence and debauchery all day, then that's what you think about. That's how you think about humanity because that's what you're referencing. Like I caught myself in a couple times on that algorithm where like it was a bunch of police violence videos coming up and where like you're leaning on the side of the victim because like yeah, that's fucked up, man, that's fucked up. And then like that's all my videos are, it's just fucked up videos of people getting pulled over and the cops in the wrong or something like that, and then it gets battered with or it gets leveled out with cops doing really good things.
I think what scares me the most about those videos, and there was one in particular that It didn't horrify me, but it broke my heart.
What was that?
The first thing that I find so disturbing is how many police brutality situations. Okay, that's maybe a little bit odd. It's a country of 330 million
Yeah,
people.
you gotta
From
zoom
one
out.
side to the other is 10,000 kilometers. This is a very large plot of land with hundreds of millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take in that. I will take that information that is fact into account when I say it's really, really sad how many of these police brutality things happen and are uploaded every month. It's very heartbreaking how many are up. It's usually like
Yeah, but none of them are dated. You don't
it's a
know. They
couple.
could be
No,
recirculating.
no, but they always you can see it from the camera thing at the bottom, and there's been so many of them that were like last week and 2 weeks ago, and one on Christmas was really sad. And on December 20th, there was one. There was this guy in one of those wheelchairs, but he was a paraplegic and he could only move his finger with
Mm-hmm.
the thing. He was those guys that he was just like this, right? He was one of
Yeah,
those guys.
a
We all know what they look
quadriplegic.
like. And
I know it's a
he
different
told
word.
the cop, he told the cop with his little Bebop thing to go fuck himself, and the cop shot him. And he just fucking drowned in his blood in his chair. They shot a paralyzed man
Mm-hmm.
because he said, "Go fuck yourself."
And what country was that?
That was in somewhere in the Midwest. I think it was Illinois or something like that.
Bullshit.
It's the one that sticks out in my
So,
mind
and
when I
then
saw that
then you
because
got to go to
there was
like how
no,
many of those
it was
vehicles?
literally he literally the cop kept telling him to stop,
Mm-hmm.
and he just did it. Right? He just did it. The guy's rolling incredibly slowly in his little fucking paraplegic chair, and they shot him. And it wasn't horrifying, like it wasn't the bloodiest, most horrible thing. The guy didn't even say anything because he couldn't, because he was fucking drowning in his blood. And it was a very strange way to see how the mind has regressed at such a level.
Let me see if I can find this. Okay, I think I see what. It's Tucson, Arizona. Here we go. Share
It's
my
just
screen.
sad. It's just really, really sad that this is acceptable. No, don't do it. Don't show the video. We can't.
What are you
No,
talking
please
about?
don't.
And it looks like he was fired. Stole a toolbox from Walmart.
I have a male suspect that just shoplifted back in front of me, pulled a knife on me. He's currently westbound in the parking lot. He's confronted by loss
What
prevention.
night? We
Knife
can't.
and loss prevention laws right there.
Dude, please don't. This is just tragic.
Okay. All right. So then we'll stop. We'll stop with that. Okay. Stop
Thank you for not showing that, but it's just wild. That one hurts. There was a million different ways that could have gone where nobody had to die.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is in a wheelchair. You are armed to the teeth.
Okay, so I'm talking about we have control over what we put in our lives and everything. Just it's the same problem with social media. When you have these kids that are overindulging in social media and then they hyper focus on the negative stuff like this, body dysmorphia, anorexia, all this stuff. It's the same thing with this. If you like it's one thing if it happens in your town. You have the right to be outraged. You should be able to stand up and do something about it. But if you're sitting here numbing yourself to tragedy and everything, like what happens? Like you're like it makes you feel powerless because you're like this is happening all over the world. Who
But
am I to
you
stop
do
it?
understand the kind of influence this has on your community. When people are aware that this is tolerated within society,
But it
there's
wasn't
no
tolerated.
telling
The
where the
man was
mind can
immediately
go.
fired.
Of course. but people see it. It's not even like it was the first time something happened. It was just a sad reality check, almost. I don't know how else to describe it because I'm not surprised.
Mhm.
I guess is what I'm trying to say.
No, after
But
all the fucking school shootings, no, like it's pretty hard for
I'm
America to
I'm
surprise the
really
rest
not
of the world.
surprised. But there's a sadness feeling I'm trying to process when I see these things. That I'm like, yeah, this is the rules in some places. I got to be careful how I talk to people.
Yeah, but it's also important to always do your own research. You can't like that's another reason why TikTok is bad is because people are just watching these 3-minute videos and then taking them for their word. Oh, it's on TikTok, so it must be true. It's like the whole thing when internet became a private thing where people could
There
have
was
personal computers.
there was this guy back in the day. He used to be on the MySpace thing. He said that when there are a lot of positive information
Hmm.
that go out and at a specific flow. I didn't really get it until I'm trying to at least explain what I think it means. But he
Hmm.
said the amount of information that flows outward that we would consider positive, it almost from the positive information, negative information can be pulled off of it and also shoot out in the same amount of speed that you get the information. And it goes reverse with
Exactly.
the
Because you
negative
always
towards
have haters
positive,
out there that
right?
will find some kind of way to be a victim.
The problem with today's social media is it lets us pick and choose what we
Yeah,
want to see instead of showing
exactly.
it like in the back when this was all in the frontier lands of the internet and stuff. We had to kind of like sift through everything in some way, shape, or form because that was the fastest way to get to what
You
you were
had to
looking for.
consume stuff
And
that you necessarily
Google is
wouldn't.
something very positive. Google is a great example of how the internet can be something incredibly positive while being having negative things leached to it because you can truly find any form of truth or lie through Google. And
Hmm.
that's fantastic. Okay, that you can. I know where the flower pot. I know where I can buy the closest flowers, and I understand that the Earth is flat. Got it, dude. I know that in 30 seconds, man.
Hmm. I don't know, bro. It's like at the end of the day, it's about what you invite into your life and what you allow to influence yourself. Can we agree that drugs are bad because you waste your life with drugs, right? You like people that tend to use drugs unsuccessfully, their life falls apart because the drug is more important, you know? Just like with the videos watching, it's like people are wasting their time that they could be using improving their lives. Instead, they're getting quick dopamine hits and feeling what is it? Virtue signaling and everything. Everybody's trying to be famous. Now it's even worse. Like before, like back in the 90s, like if you wanted to be famous, all right, you're going to LA, bye. I don't have to see you anymore. Maybe I'll see you on a movie in 10 years. But now it's like we have like it seems like every classroom in America has its own soon to be influencer.
It is the popular occupation of choice as of current. In 10 years, it's going to look a little different.
And I can understand like I'm not hating on it. Like I can see it as a strategic way to build your career and network and everything. Like you become famous a little bit and then you turn serious once you've got the clout and everything. I understand that. Like that's what I see a lot of influencers doing. But it's also it's just a I don't know. I don't know if it's any different from being a YouTuber or anything.
Well, it's
Because there is
currently
money to make
the
made in video editing
yes,
and all
but
that.
that one is a very bad industry right now. That one guy keeps calling out the video game industry and how horrid they're treating their programmers. Is that the one? Not
You're talking
no.
you're talking about the people that build the video game or the people that play the video game?
The people that build the video game
Oh
have
yeah.
these very
Yeah.
strange employment contracts where they get released without unemployment, and they do this strategically in that industry, and that's just
Oh, they overwork them like crazy because they have no backbone. Because
it's
it's a I mean I can't speak
truckers
from
and
experience, but
mailmen and truckers. Their unions have all been depleted. They're all making minimum wage now. it's a regression in society. It's very strange to see
I
it
feel like
happen.
that all gig all gig work is susceptible to that. I say that as in like I mean even my house cleaning, it's a gig work. Like I have to supply my own clients. If sorry, if your career is talent based, you're subjecting yourself to the will of society. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like if people don't want to pay you, then they're not going to pay you or whatnot. And it's the I don't know how to explain it. I'm not this educated. Like I'm sure
No.
that George Peterson could tear this shit apart, but it's something psychological, man. It's the powers that be taking advantage of the people of the have-nots. It's kind of like with my anger towards the restaurant business and everything. Privately owned restaurants will are perfectly fine with stealing tips from their servers. Are
Yeah,
perfectly
because there's
fine
no
not
law
paying.
preventing them from doing that. In fact, they feel entitled to it. It's a
They're
cruel.
perfectly okay with not paying out on workman's comp on injuries and stuff like that. They're perfectly fine blaming you that you're on drugs whenever shit goes wrong and all that. It's taking advantage because they know that these people don't have better options. And it's just like with the talent agency. If you try climbing the ladder and everything, you're gonna get to the point where it's like you gotta suck some dick, or you gotta get on your knees and beg, you know, because it's the people. Like I don't know. I guess it's weird. It brings me up to like this thing that Charlie Kirk said. It's like, when's the last time you got a job from a poor person? So it's like if you choose a career that's based on popularity, you're always going to be somebody else's bitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
So it's like I'm even experiencing that with the voice acting. I'm realizing that I'm like, okay, this isn't as simple as just getting a bunch of scripts, reading them and dishing them out on at night and everything. This is an
Yeah, but you're
actual
learning something new. This sounds really cool, actually.
It is like it's fun, it's challenging, it's stressful a little bit, but so that's why it's exciting. And it's like at the end of the day, it's low impact. I already made $800, so they practically gave me the money to pay for the membership. So it's like I'm half-assing it, but at the same time, I'm kind of taking it seriously because like it could be serious, but I don't want to get my hopes up that it's because it seems like it's going to be a slow build. I feel like it's going to be like your stand-up career. Like you really want to do it right now, and you're going to go through a lot of fucking emotions, but everybody's going to tell you, man, like you're not going to be good until at least 10 years. You got to do this shit. You got to grind for 10 years before you even expect to walk in and somebody knows your name.
Listen, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to sound like an egomaniac, and I don't have a god complex.
Hmm.
But I feel like I have an advantage in this situation because I am in no way, shape, or form financially motivated to do this.
Hmm.
It is coming from a sheer place of a combination of boredom and a strange form of confidence because I am dying on the inside to tell my fucked up stories. I have
And that's
so
good.
many
That I
fucked
think
up
that's what's
stories I
gonna
want
hold
to
you
tell.
through the bad
And I
times.
think because I don't think anybody can push me around or threaten me or make me do something I don't want to do because the only thing that they would have leverage over is by paying me. And
Hmm.
if they can't, and if I'm like, no, I don't need that. I have more control of the situation in the end
Hmm.
that I can be satisfied with.
And that's what I love. Like, I mean, that at the end of the day, yeah, that's what gives you your freedom of choice is like you always got to remember that you can walk away. It's when people get desperate and then people take advantage of that. It's like
Yeah.
these jobs that I'm working at, like they're vastly different. Like some are 30,000 word count and they're only paying you like $400, whereas other are like $2,000, but it's only 127 words,
Okay.
you know? And that comes into the talent. It's like I guess like the shorter one that pays more, they're looking for people that are like established, that know what they're doing, that have been hired several times. So that's where I'm getting at that it's gonna definitely be like a slow build. because I got a lot of lessons to learn and nobody to teach me but experience. So like that's why I'm totally just I'm locked in for the long haul. That I think that it's just gonna be one of those things like that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna plateau, but at the end of the day, if I can make money off of it, then it's a good investment. You know, it's something. It's a backup plan if I ever lose any mobility or if I become handicapped or something like that. I can get something to fall back on. Because like that's what I'm looking at. Like this sounds like a good retirement plan. Like if I start now, 30 years by now, I'll be established enough that I should be able to make good money until I die.
You know what's gonna make me sad though in 30 years? If I'm still alive, I'm gonna have $1 million in the bank and it ain't gonna be worth shit.
Yeah. We're gonna about to be like China and India where fucking 1 trillion rupees only gets you a slice of bread.
Ugh, man, our money ain't gonna be worth shit.
I don't know, bro. I feel like it's the natural laws of fads it'll even it out. Like something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen where we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be like, enough's enough. We gotta
Hey,
fix it.
did I already tell you my racist joke on podcast? I got a good one.
No,
Well,
but
I think
go
it's a good
ahead. We can
one.
end it on that. We're getting towards the end of this episode. So come on, send it out with
Really?
it. Yeah.
Already?
Well, we got 15 minutes in the first one now. We've been talking for 30 minutes.
Okay.
And
Let me tell you a
Jeremy's
racist
kicking us
joke.
off.
Okay. So the Germans, compared to the Swiss, are really bad at dealing with their immigrants, okay? Because they'll walk up to them and say, go back to your fucking country. And the immigrant's going to say, no, no. And that's the end. That's the end of that conversation. Everyone goes back home, goes to bed at 10. Switzerland, they're a little bit more subtle about it, okay? They're like, yeah, come on in, come on in. Chocolate bar's $50.
Mhm.
Holy shit, man! I need to get the fuck out of here. I can't do this shit. $50 for a chocolate bar? Are you fucking kidding me,
No, I get that. That makes sense, but then it makes it harder on the locals.
dude? They are minimum wage in Switzerland's 25 Swiss francs, so it's $28 an hour. That's minimum wage in Switzerland.
Yeah, but
The
see,
poverty
like,
line, the poverty
okay,
line is
that
four
was a
grand a
funny
month.
joke. That was a funny joke. But in all seriousness, though, that's the shit that we lived in with Florida. Like, we're surrounded by great things, but we don't make enough money to enjoy them.
Fucking do any of it.
Yeah. It's like we're busting our asses just to be an extra in somebody's vacation photo. That's what it felt like in Florida. Well, all right,
Oh,
brother. We'll end it on that. I'll let you go handle your shit with David. Uh,
man, I'm a little sad now.
oh, you want to record another episode?
Uh, why don't you, well, 45 minutes. Give me another 15 minutes. Can we do 15 more minutes?
All right. All right. Well,
Uh,
all right, guys. We're gonna end it on there. We will see you next week, hopefully. Peace.